It begins like any other house, quiet, unassuming, its windows watching over the streets of a small Kansas town. But once you cross the threshold, the air shifts. Lights die without reason, whispers slither through empty rooms, and then the scratches begin. For decades, investigators have tried to uncover the darkness within these walls, but one name still sends shivers down the spine of anyone who dares speak of it. Tonight, we visit the Sally House.
Today's episode is on the Sally House. I was first introduced to the house from the Sam and Colby video that we watched, 2-3 years ago, something like that.
That's the first time you ever watched it?
Or
anything about the Sally House?
Yeah, the Sam and Colby video.
Then you want to say yes? I have to think, because I've watched Sally House stuff a lot. Have you ever?
No, nothing.
You're a blank slate on this again.
I am blank. I know nothing.
Well, this ought to be good.
Do you know anything about Robert the Doll, though? Because that's the next one.
It's the one that you can't look at, right?
Right.
Without permission
yes,
or whatever.
yes.
That's about the extent of what I know about that.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to have fun with these ones. But today we're doing Sally House.
I have a small things in notes because most things I just know it.
That's fine. Like I said, I have backups to go along with you. I know you were putting... Whoa. Well, I apologize for the glare that's going to be on my face. I wish I could figure out how to make this like a dark screen on here for my...
Like sometimes you just gotta wing it. Just let it go. That's what I did all week. All these presentations I had to do and everything, I was just letting it go.
We can keep going here in a second. Did you get to do the exercise of the diffuse?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Where, like, there's a confrontation, whatever, and you have to, like, diffuse the situation?
That wasn't one of our activities. I'm trying to think if it was in, like... I think that was one of the, like, just scenarios, and then we talked about it as, like, a group. We didn't do, like, any activities on that one.
Okay. Maybe they gave up on me, like, we know this is dumb. I'm like, well, that's what you make me do. Too dark.
I'm going to start making us do all the Walmart cheer when we get there. I had to do it all week.
I'm not doing it.
You guys are going to suffer, too.
Unless I'm dropping my pants during it, it's not going to fucking happen.
I mean, we can do it no pants. I'm all right with that.
Oh, wait a minute. Go to settings, personal color, select art. Give me 1 second here. Settings, where is that hidden here? File. I don't see it! Tools?
Hi.
Preferences? Ooh. No. I don't see it! You people lie. Your browser needs to be open because you're about to start a handy extension that will... No, fuck that shit. I ain't got all time for that. I'll find another day. But anyhow. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to see how I could make this dark, but I can't figure it out.
But yeah, Sam and Colby, because towards the end of this, I do reference the Sam and Colby video, because I want to talk about the basement part of their video. And what happened with Sam.
Okay. Well, no, I have a rough timeline put together of like when stuff occurred, when it started, so just take your time with it. I will try to keep along with you. And is she going to be a hostile?
I'm being harassed.
Well, if you gotta ditch her, ditch her.
Ma'am. Hi.
If she's not going to be helpful through this and going to be hindering you, then she can take a hike for a little while.
You can sit over there.
Lane's upstairs. She can go bother him. But no, I have notes of like the outline, whatever, and then I have information on the psychics that were actually there to back for like their credentials. I put some of that together. So, go ahead, go.
Okay. Well, I didn't know how much you had to say.
Tell me to shut up when you need me to shut up.
Located in Atchison, Kansas,
There you go.
the Sally House. It's basically the story of a little girl who had died. The house was being used as like a hospital at the time, and what are you doing?
A hospital.
She
What
came
year
back.
is this?
1800s is what the local lore has that I recalled. What? You're gonna have to push her down. I can't do it for you.
But there's I forget the doctor's name, but there's a doctor that runs the house.
Ooh, hold on. I got that for you.
Ma'am.
Uh,
I said
Finney.
you can
Dr. Finney. I think that's how I have that.
Where?
Present the Finney / I gotta see where my notes were that I had for you. The house was built in the 1800s. Do you want to call it murder or just death?
death, because it wasn't a murder.
Well, there's some like back and forth with that. 1890s is when the incident happened, or death happened. But yeah, in my ones that I have, it was I don't have a first name, but just Dr. Finney is who ran it. Like, remember like Little House on the Prairie?
Mm-hmm.
So how Doc Baker had like that back room, whatever, and worked on patients or looked at them, took care of them. That was the setup here. Not as like run down. It was like a nice home, but it was just a house examination room, and then he had like an operating room or whatever in the back. That way everything could be a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
So that was what he had. But yeah. But the actual address is 508 North 2nd Street, and you're correct, it is Atchison, Kansas.
Mm-hmm. Freya,
And she's trying to escape to that.
Window screen. But anyways, really late one night, a frantic mother arrives at the house, for help with her daughter, whose appendix had, burst, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, severe abdominal pain, and the doctor had believed that the appendix was soon going to burst, which would have led to, like, death. Because this little girl, she's 6. Mm-hmm. Her name is Sally. And I've heard 2 different things on the story on how she died. It was either the doctor started cutting Sally open before the anesthesia took effect, or he didn't give her enough anesthesia and it faded, so she woke up to being cut open.
Did they have that back then?
The anesthesia? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, when they're saying anesthesia, it's that's just the process.
Yeah.
You got to remember MASH. They use the ether.
Mm-hmm.
That's still an anesthesia. So they had different forms of it way back then, but it wasn't. You needed to be really experienced. You needed to know your shit for stuff to take hold properly. For it to be I know how much for this weight, for this child, or for this adult, of how much to put in. And that was what he screwed up on. Whether, because it is a murky tale of for getting factual evidence on this, because officially they don't have any documents on him.
Yeah, there is no historical records on both Sally's death and the doctor.
But in my opinion, 1890s, it's very early. Records are hit or miss, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you had this unfortunate thing happen. Are you going to record it? Or is that going to ruin your reputation and you don't want to talk about it? So we keep it off and to the side. And don't
I do have
about
another
it.
thing about that later,
about
there being no records.
But, yeah, that is... Was he inexperienced? and that's why he gave it the wrong dosage? Or was he in that much of a hurry, and that's what screwed it up? So, that's my thinking anyway.
Yeah. But basically, when she died on the operating table, her the last thing she saw was this, just because she's 6, so like it's a child, so the last thing that this child saw was just this man that was hurting her, because it was very painful. So now the most common things that happen at the house is for men specifically to be targeted, and that's where I'll lead into the people that moved into the house right afterwards. Was the Pickmans?
Yep, Tony and Deborah.
Hang on, I had a full...
Did you have the date that they moved in? Because that I do have to help you out.
Hang on, I had a whole thing. I had a website all about it. Let me...
Yeah, because after the doctor, the legend that goes on of him being there, they don't really have how much longer he was there. When did it stop being a hospital? It stopped. Whenever that happened.
His first name's Michael. It's Michael Finney.
So once she died, it just stopped. He just stopped.
We don't have any information. Like we said, there's no official record. But that's just it. Just like when we did the Bell Witch, with the whole Andrew Jackson thing, there's so many people who want to disprove say, no, there's no proof in that. He wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. Every single story, even on the sign for the Bell Witch, has an account that Andrew Jackson was there. This is the same thing. There's no black and white receipt saying this is when this girl came in, this was the doctor that was here. It is all lore, but it has been told so many times, but so many different aspects always include this one anchor point. It doesn't change.
I was wrong. It's Charles Finney. His father is Michael Finney.
Oh.
But the reason that they went to him to help Sally, because he was one of the few doctors, because there wasn't a hospital in the area until 1914.
Right. Which that could be then why you don't have the records as much, because, like I said, it was just
I doubt
mom and pop stuff.
They were keeping records really.
Right.
Then.
He's there to help out where he can, and yeah. Because you said that was 1914 when the hospital was around then? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that would be...
I'd imagine it wasn't a law probably back then.
Probably not. Because how many... And not to discredit him, to be fair, how many people could just pop up and say they're a doctor and do what they will or whatever? They don't have to follow any type of code or whatever. So, but yeah, at some point it stopped being a doctor's house or a doctor's office and started becoming just a regular house. So
now the Pickmans in 1992, 1993, it's in between there. Deborah and Tony Pickman were newly married and expecting a child. So they moved into this, lovely looking house that, fit everything that they needed. 2 stories, 3 bedrooms. They turned one of them into a nice little nursery. It was, the perfect house for them. For a few months, everything was fine except for some strange things that started to happen. Light bulbs going out, and their oven timer would often turn on by itself. Sometimes their cordless phone would go dead, then suddenly work again.
You remember those? I was talking about that with Jesse the one day. We need to go back. If you didn't put the phone back on the charger, that conversation ended quickly.
Now, because this house was really old, because it was built in, the 1870s, they just brushed it off as bad wiring, and it's an old house, so they didn't think much of it. But what they couldn't explain was their dog, who was very calm, would often bark and growl at their nursery. The first alarming incident was after their son was born. So they went upstairs to put the baby to bed, and when they walked into the nursery, they found all of the baby's stuffed animals arranged in a pile on the floor instead of where they normally were on the chair. Now, Tony and Deborah were instantly uneasy, worried someone broke into their home. So they searched the house, but they found no one. So they put the toys back, put Taylor in his crib, and went downstairs. Yet when they reached the bottom of the steps, they saw the light in the nursery flick back on, and then they found one of the teddy bears on the floor again. And their son is a newborn baby, so he couldn't have done shit. So they searched again and found nobody. So they tried to convince themselves they were imagining things, put the bear back, turned the light off, and went downstairs. The light stayed up, but when Deborah peeked back into the nursery a little bit later, the bear was back on the floor. Now, fully terrified, they called Tony's brother Larry to figure out what was going on. When Larry first got there, nothing had happened, and they thought, maybe it was gone now. And after checking out the nursery again, they all went downstairs, only to discover that the teddy bear was now downstairs, was now facing a different way as well. You think a baby could do this? So they were freaked out, and they all decided it was best to leave the house for the night and stay at Tony's mother's, which was when the family decided to bring in reinforcements.
Now, before she keeps going, because I know this story, before it keeps going, you're going to have to glue your butt down and keep your instinct from jolting out of this house. Because I will say this, for what she's reading right now, this is as minor as it gets for in this house.
I'm reading this off of U.S. Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay. You're using... Oh, that's a good one. So there's going to be a lot of descriptions that at least I know I have, but more likely she has them too, that this is what it starts off with tamely. So there's no bolting out of the door before you hear the rest of the evidence. So far we just
have stuffed animals being piled in a room and one found downstairs. And
For now.
Because now they reach out to a psychic.
Oh, which one? Which one is it that you have?
Barbara.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I have hers. Okay, go ahead.
So, Larry reached out to a psychic that he knew in California named Barbara. Despite not being in Kansas, she was able to offer some small bits of information she could gather over the phone.
Now, this would be Barbara Connors for everybody that's listening on here. That's the psychic that we're talking about.
What she found was there's a ghost in the house. It's a girl between 5 and 13 years old, and her name is Sally. At the time Larry was talking to the medium, Tony's mom at the same time that Larry was talking to this medium, Tony's mom reached out to an old friend who used to live at the house. I think it's the same house. Wait, what's the address for the house?
502?
Which street?
2nd Street.
Okay, so this is someone who lived at a house right across the street because it says 508 2nd Street. The woman said that
that's the house. 508 2nd Street.
You said 502.
Oh, my bad. No, the house is
Okay.
Yeah, 508 2nd Street is the Sally House. Okay. My bad.
The woman there said that there had never been any issues when her family had lived there. But the odd thing was that every once in a while there would be a very sour smell in the house, but she could never find the source.
So like I said, I was listening to a documentary actually earlier today when I was working out, and I thought they brought up a good question. Not every haunted house has an interaction with every single person that comes in to the extent of what's later recorded. What makes the distinction that when this person lived in there, people before the Pickmans, they actually had stuff going on, but they didn't realize it. It was, like she said, a sour smell. What happens that when the next person comes in, is it that because one set of people or group is paying attention to things more than the other, that there is actually stuff going around, but they just don't notice it, so they're just scratch it off? But then when you channel into or focus on what's happening around you, notice that this was moved here, or that it was spun in the other direction, the stuffed animal was moved, and didn't immediately write it off. Is there more paranormal occurrences that they're not aware of, that are just going on from day to day and they don't give it any thought? What makes that distinction? Excuse me, I'm gonna die.
Goodbye, Cole.
And that's the end of my opinion. I'm being killed now.
Well, I don't know. Like, don't they say some people are more in tuned?
Yeah, that's
So
another
maybe
one
that's
too.
a thing. Like
You have to wait till the right receiver comes in, and then they can. Because I remember as a kid they used to talk about like ghosts and paranormal activity that they gain their strength or whatever off of fear and people's energy. I'm like, well, you had other people in here. What made it that okay? Like drew off of this. Why couldn't they do anything? Are people like that oblivious to what's going on around them? They're like, oh, yeah, that chair always spins, but it's no big deal. And then they just go on with their day.
maybe, like I said, maybe it's just the level of how in tune you are. Like you have like these psychics.
Yes. I think there's a total of 3 of them that stop into the house.
I am nowhere near that level of in tuned. So I feel like they would obviously see more than I would.
Okay. What else you got now? Sorry. Did I throw you off from where you were?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Then she remembered that sometimes she'd have to scold her kids for leaving their toys lying out. However, the children always claimed it wasn't them, it was Sally.
So
The mom thought that it was an imaginary friend, so she dismissed her kids and always made them clean up the toys. But now the Pickman family was getting 2 different sources saying that a Sally was present in their home. Now this is the first physical encounter.
Dun dun dun.
After talking more with the psychic, she assured the Pickmans that Sally was just a sweet little girl and she just wanted to play and feel part of the family. This calmed the parents down a little bit.
Now, question for you. Do you have when Sally starts to talk?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I have something on that for when you get around to that
And
time.
another thing.
What?
Would this turned physical if they wouldn't have brought in a psychic?
What do you mean?
Like, since these people like, the family before never brought in a psychic or anything, and nothing ever got physical, right?
Oh.
But these people now have brought in, like, a psychic, and now things, from what I figure it's going to get physical.
So, we'll say spirit to the side, sits kind of quiet, says stuff, but nobody hears. You bring in the psychic who interacts with it. Oh, I've got a receiver now I can talk to. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was scanning through stuff.
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm going to interject here back and forth.
So the next day, a different brother of Tony, George, came over to see what was going on. George didn't believe in ghosts, so when Tony showed him the bear that had showed up on its own downstairs, George suggested taking a photo with it. Tony said, "Sally, if you're here, say cheese." As Tony pressed down the shutter button, George saw the bear turn around with his own eyes. George started screaming about it, and Tony ran upstairs to tell Deborah. George went to follow, but suddenly he felt like he couldn't move any of his muscles. He was frozen in place, attempting with all his will to move. Finally, he regained control and ran upstairs after his brother. The couple then decided to grab the baby and get out. As Tony desperately tried to get the baby buckled into the car seat, he felt a sudden pain on his back. Tony went to inspect the source of the pain, and that's when he saw 3 deep scratches that had drawn blood.
Now, I will say this. There have been hauntings in other locations where it's just a little wee gap. No, these ones, like someone took not your fingernail, a nail and dug into. They're like some deep-ass scratches. Yes, they were. How about you go sit up in that window ledge and stop it? There.
Okay. Now, they couldn't really move out because they couldn't afford to, so they had to stay in the house. The psychic Barbara from California offered to come to the house herself and see what was going on.
A home meeting, we shall say.
After walking around, she assured Tony and Deborah that Sally was harmless. She said that Sally didn't like men. She had only scratched Tony by accident out of anxiety of them leaving. So, one of the main things about Sally is, she just kind of wants a friend. And I'm going to get into that when I get to Sam and Colby as well. Because it's very important there. Barbara told the Pickmans to try to acknowledge and include Sally rather than ignoring her, and that may help the child's spirit. Do you have notes too?
Where are they?
Go ahead. Tell the audience. Where are your notes? Oh, okay. Deborah fully leaned into this idea, talking to Sally and even buying her a doll that she had gift wrapped just for the spirit. Shortly after putting the doll in a chair, Deborah found the doll out of package and in Taylor's crib, while the box and gift wrap were undisturbed. Deborah quickly shifted her view, now feeling maternal and protective over her phantom adopted daughter. So when Tony would voice his skepticism, Deborah would quickly dismiss him or say he was overreacting. Her strong change in opinion almost felt unnatural, like she was being persuaded to think this way. While Deborah now felt at home, Tony started having a very different experience from his wife.
No, okay. So, does this sound at all familiar to you? In correlation to other hauntings? Because I think it's interesting that if you think about, like, kind of what you were saying, that it was waiting for somebody to, like, activate or whatever, Sally asked permission to be part of their family. What did Annabelle do? Wanted to know if it could live with those girls and just be here. Mm-hmm. So I know that the entity says that it's Sally, supposedly a little girl, but is it really? If it was just there and it was no big deal, then why again did we have to ask permission? Because most benign ghosts don't ask permission. They just exist. Why did Sally ask permission to be there? And like she said, they had these like dolls and toys now that it seemed to be moving around and almost like possessing. So what is it that Sally actually is? Mm-hmm. Why did it need like a green card of like, will you allow me to be part of your family and can I just stay here and blah, blah. You supposedly were here before. Why do you need permission now?
Go on to that chair. Thank you.
Isn't the whole permission thing more like demonic than just ghosts?
For permissions, yes. They're supposed to be like on the demonic side. That most demons are almost like a vampire, how you have to have the welcome to enter. Yeah, so it's like they can come in, but they're like getting pulled back out. They can't plant themselves and like, can we just stay here and be a part? Oh, yeah, sure. Like, it's no big deal. You just gave me permission. I can come in now all the time whenever I want.
I'm like, fuck, no.
You will be having an unwelcome mat outside your door.
Now, with Tony, he had started hearing whisperings around the house that Deborah just couldn't hear at all. Over the next several months, the voices kept getting louder to the point where it would be where they would all be talking over each other so loudly that Tony couldn't even understand what they were saying. He'd hear scratches from inside the walls, and he started feeling like something was nibbling at his toes. Yeah. It didn't hurt, but it was uncomfortable.
My feet, I wouldn't like that. No.
It didn't hurt, but it was uncomfortable and unsettling.
Okay, no, that's not uncomfortable. That's just irritating. I'm like, I don't,
When he tried to tell Deborah, she'd play it off and say that it was just Sally messing with him, which, that doesn't sound too promising. Then one night, the couple was having friends over. While they were all sitting at the dining table, one of them noticed that Tony's forehead had begun to bleed. They all looked
That's 'cause
over.
Barbara punched him.
They all looked over.
He said he wasn't doing the dishes. Learn your place, man.
I'm back in the kitchen.
They all looked over and watched as a deep scratch was etched into Tony's forehead by an invisible hand. Despite all the witnesses, Deborah doubled down that it was just Sally playing with Tony, refusing to reason. From this point on, the physical abuse escalated. Tony began having dreams where he was dragged out of bed.
I'd be like, where are you getting this, woman?
No, okay, I was waiting to see where, I wasn't sure like where your notes were going to go, but no, she is accurate in this. Barbara, or not Barbara, but
Deborah.
Deborah, sorry. Barbara was the psychic. Deborah, she was like infatuated with this whole thing. I don't know what the relationship was, because I mean there have been some documentaries with the two of them on, like when this was going on. I don't know if she despised that man, just did not care for him, but so much stuff happened to
maybe
him.
She wanted a brother instead.
Oh, she's going through a phase. Just you have to understand. Understand what? I'm bleeding.
Right? Like,
I'm sitting here. I said dinner was lovely, and I helped do my chores. Why am I being gouged to death here?
Maybe she wants one of his brothers instead.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was trying to use Sally to like make a little more room, but
I don't know.
She was
I'm
very.
gonna go through a phase as I'm leaving.
So, Tony began having dreams where he was dragged out of bed only to wake up in a cold sweat with blisters around his wrists in the shape of tiny fingerprints.
Yeah, like something was actually trying to grab him while he was sleeping, and so what he was dreaming was like in a way actually happening.
He had another dark dream, but this time he followed an unknown woman into an empty bedroom in their house. After speaking with Barbara, they realized that there was another spirit in their home. The ghost was a older woman. While Barbara believed she was also harmless, it was becoming hard to ignore Tony's abuse. Especially as it began escalating even more.
It's hard to ignore. Hard, like I said before, the scratches.
They were gonna try to ignore, but it was getting hard.
Makeup isn't gonna cover up these scars and scratches and the bruises. Like, concealer's only gonna go so far.
There are some good professionals out there. Get a color corrector. Put some green on that purple.
Huh?
It's color correcting. Oh no, because purple would be red. Normally with like bruises or something, you'd put like lipstick on it first to color correct it, and then you'd put the concealer on it. And if the mark is red, then you put green on it, or like a light blue, and then you put concealer on it, because then it cancels out.
Like, why the fuck are we talking about concealer? Why don't we just leave?
You got money for the makeup to cover all this stuff? Because you're going to have to go through a lot to
like, here, sweetheart, just put some of this on it. Okay.
That's when you just get like a bunch of plastic wrap and just wrap it around his head. You'll be fine, honey. Anyways.
That sounds like murder.
Here's how it
Everything
escalated.
is perfectly fine. I am protected with the bubble wrap.
Here is how it escalated. Tony woke up one night to the older woman ghost hovering over him dressed in all black. The entire room started shaking as she threatened to kill him.
Right.
Oh, that's you. I thought it was the cat. Just as she went to strangle him, he woke up in bed. Deborah hadn't heard anything. Feel like she might have, though, and she just wants him gone.
There has to be something with that, because you had that with the Amityville Horror, you had that with the Bell Witch, that stuff can happen to individuals, that those bubbles, those sound bubbles occur, that people can't hear what's going on when you're like being attacked or you're experiencing something. There's got to be something behind that.
And here...
So, like, you're almost in, like, another, like, dimension.
Yeah. It's like you're caught between like the dream world and you're not that. I'm like, you're hearing all this, you're screaming it, but everybody else is like, no, nothing. Because what, the Conjuring movie, the second one, isn't that the one where they have the house over in England? When that's going on, like, they kind of allude to that in parts where the one girl's being attacked and she's like screaming whatever. Her sister, I understand it's in a film, but that's in the same way too, of she's screaming, yelling for help. Nobody initially hears it, that there's no sound, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we heard you, blah, blah, blah. Don't tell me you're in that much of a deep sleep that you didn't hear fucking screaming 3 feet from you. How did you not hear that?
There were warning signs outside of Tony, though. So
there was more reason to like leave and not worry about concealer.
One was the baby. Taylor had begun waking up in the middle of the night with a shriek in a particularly startling way that wasn't like a normal baby that was just crying for attention. Soon after this, Deborah heard one of the toys in his room suddenly play a loud, not human-like static sound that hurt her ears.
I have that for later. Yes.
While Deborah had been able to make up excuses for the things happening to her husband, probably because she didn't care much, it was harder to overlook these events happening near the baby. Another concerning reoccurring issue was that candles would light themselves on fire. Deborah tried telling Sally that she had to stop as she would burn the house down.
Yeah, that's not a sign to go.
But Sally wouldn't stop.
This is where I'm going to be 50-50 because I'm like, if I don't have to waste time lighting candles and someone else is going to do it for me, that's not going to be...
I'm like just sitting here, there's like 2 candles down there, just...
Thank you. It was getting dark in here.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Could you turn the coffee pot while you're at it too, please? I'd like a drink now.
Yeah, so Sally wouldn't stop, though, and then things started just randomly catching on fire like an oil lamp or even a teddy bear.
If it's cold out, is that a problem?
And then...
This is a flaming teddy.
I mean, the kid's not going to play with the toy, so we might as well get the new one. This one can, like, make its way out. Spontaneous combustion.
There are 2 small sections on some investigators that had gone to the house at this time for TV.
Yes.
So the story of the Pickmans was very active and dangerous. Like stories that had like spread throughout the ghost community or whatever. And a ghost hunting show called Sightings had reached out wanting to record an episode at the home. Tony, because he was desperate, agreed.
The YouTube video that I pulled up for you, it has investigations. If you want, I can pull that at a point for us. There is a snippet on there from that Sightings. It's not the full one, but like there's little clips. I know where they're at.
There's still a lot left in this, so I don't... Maybe not.
That's completely fine.
Within minutes of getting their equipment set up to interview Tony, the camera crew started observing an unbelievable phenomenon. Tony was being scratched right in front of them by something they could not see. The physical assault continued, and at one point the crew found that MC had been carved into Tony's back. This was because it was the initials of the owner, Michael Croman Finney. So his initials had been carved onto his back. That night alone, the crew counted 11 separate attacks on Tony, with the specialist in that area in the room explaining that he had never seen anything like that before. Other investigations.
No leaving yet. No leaving. You buckle yourself down.
Over the following years, shows from the Travel Channel, the Discovery Channel, Sci-Fi, and A&E have all recorded in the home, with each capturing different events. These have included cameras or recording equipment suddenly ceasing to work, objects moving on their own, people feeling like someone is touching them, and sudden cold spots emerging throughout the home. One of the strangest observations was that multiple trained guide dogs would enter the house but then refuse to step foot in the nursery despite their master ordering them to. Now we're on the final straw. Because everything that happened wasn't enough.
The scratches was fine. Him being...
almost getting strangled, it's so fine.
The dreams, the bruises, get over it, move on.
Right.
We have groceries put away.
Like, suck it up, pansy.
So, after the Sightings television crew left, Tony finally got a little momentum with Deborah that something was really wrong in the house. So when a medium offered to cleanse the home of the spirits, the Pickmans had agreed. However, Deborah requested that the medium allow Sally's spirits to stay. The cleanse did not go according to plan. Tony was attacked with 8 of the deepest scratches he had received so far. The spirits seemed upset at the cleansing attempt, and they increased the voices that Tony was hearing. He was sleep-deprived and feeling crazy. Tony would experience extreme emotions of anger, paranoia, and then black out completely. After one of these blackout sessions, he discovered that he had killed a stray cat that had wandered into their home with a butcher knife. As he cleaned the cat's body, he could hear the voices telling him to stab his wife next. He resisted the urge with all his might, trying to keep the toxic thoughts at bay. Shortly after, Tony was at the top of the stairs, and one of the entities pushed him. They shoved him so hard that he broke the railing, but didn't fall all the way down. This was enough to pull Deborah from the denial she was in, and they realized they could no longer safely live in this home, and within 2 weeks, they moved out.
Makes no sense to me. Like, this is no sense.
Okay. Now, the question is, who really haunts the Sally House? Many investigators believed that it isn't just, a little girl that's haunting this house.
Do you have the person who moved in after them?
I don't think it's on this. I'm telling you, I'm just reading off of this website I found.
Okay.
That's my notes.
Well, I have not her name, but I do have the story of there was a lady who moved in after the Pickmans. Now, there's no backstory on her of exactly why she moved in, like if she wanted to be in there just for a normal reason or if she wanted in because it was haunted. But she was disruptive, according to the landlord, and she eventually moved out. When he entered the house, he was blaming her for it being a wreck inside, always looking destructive, things being a mess. I guess she wanted to argue with it. When he went downstairs into the basement, that pentagram that was found...
Yeah, I'm going to get into that later.
That's how it came from, because she supposedly put the pentagram in the basement. She was living there by herself, so the theories that go behind it is she received everything that Tony was getting. She got it all herself. There was no one to, channel out with her to, help her de-stress or whatever. So... not saying she got possessed, but she got possibly tormented to the point that she was encouraged to create something downstairs to help allow something to permanently take hold, even more so.
So, who haunts the Sally House? Probably not just Sally. The older woman has been identified as a spirit that is there, but that has also been a man's ghost said to live, on site. Some believe a malicious spirit also resides in the basement, and this may be the instigator of Tony's attacks. In fact, many believe that this dark spirit was not a ghost at all, but a demon who was slowly possessing Tony's mind to get him to hurt Deborah. The demon may have even trapped the other harmless spirits there to lure in victims. This could explain Deborah's behavior when she came to, adoring Sally. While it's impossible to say, it seems that the ghosts or demons of the Sally House are still present in the house to this day. Now, today, you are able to visit the Sally House for investigations both day and night.
It's a very small house, too.
I believe it said somewhere you can stay the night there.
Oh, I don't know.
So you can go for a tour. Here. For people wanting to book a stay, there is a 2-person minimum, and guests are required to bring their own sleeping bags to sleep in. There are strict rules against performing any seances or trying to cleanse the house. Now.
I mean, it's out in Kansas. It'd be a little bit of a drive.
So, with Sam Colby. First, the pentagram. Because I'm just going to talk about the backstory with that first.
Okay, no, go ahead.
There's no, it's not confirmed where the pentagram came from, whether it came from that tenant, or if it came from before that, because it was found under the floorboards of the basement.
Right. So it's not like anybody went searching for it or whatever. It wasn't until after the lady moved out that when he was doing the deep clean, whatever, that's when it was discovered. So it's just associated with her because everything was a wreck, and she seemed to be going downstairs. I guess the basement light was constantly on when she was there. So again, speculation there.
Because it also could have just been far before the house was,
right.
Just way before. But it was believed there was just a pentagram there, and it had believed to be used for satanic or witch rituals, luring more demonic entity to the house, which would be, it's believed to be the source of most of the intense activity.
Right.
The pentagram was, like, burned off, though, so it's like, you can't see the pentagram, but there's on, like, this, it's a concrete floor, there's just this, like, giant burn mark on where it used to be. Now, Sam and Colby, because I really like their investigation there, and I feel like we should talk about it. So, one main thing with the Sam and Colby video is they were trying to figure out if it was an actual little girl or not. Because, for one, if this is a little girl, how the hell did she get all this power to do all of this stuff?
Right.
She's a 6-year-old. How? So that's, like, my main thing. Like, where did all of this power come from?
Right.
So, that's why it's believed that it's not a little girl, and it's a more demonic entity trying to position themselves as a little girl to get people to, like to lure people in and gain more power. But with Sam and Colby, one of the main things that happened was they had toys turning on. I believe they went with Seth, correct?
Yes.
And his nose started bleeding during
Yes.
one of the investigations.
Mm-hmm. Because they'd gone there a couple times, I think.
No, they only went once.
Was it just the once? Oh, so it was just a long episode. I know they did a lot, though, when they were there.
Yeah, I think you're confusing it because right before they were there, they went to the Velisca house.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that's when they talked to the one, because they talked to the guy that owned the Velisca house, and he had previously been to the Sally House.
Yeah,
or he was wasn't he like a cleaner there, he said?
Yeah.
He was in the basement, and he stood on, like, the pentagram, I believe he said, and he felt like a burn on the side of his leg, and, like, his leg hair had been burned off. On one part
Yeah,
of
it's
his
not
leg.
that he just had the sensation. There was, like, evidence that...
Yeah, there was,
how you
like,
take a lighter-
charred hair on his
Singed
leg.
hair.
Yes.
But, and then while they were, I know there was that one part when they were in the nursery and they thought a ball rolled down the stairs, but, I believe it was probably Seth that just kicked it.
Well, there was 2 instances with the ball.
Yeah, because the other
Because-
one, they were downstairs doing, like, a birthday party for Sally,
Right.
and, like, a ball got thrown down the stairs, like, it bounced off the door.
Right, well, because wasn't that like an 8-ball or something that got thrown?
I think it was.
Because the first one, yes, they were in the nursery, and that's my question, because I heard in one instance that when the actual girl got the operation, wasn't that in the kitchen?
I think so.
Because that's where his operating area was in the kitchen. So what makes it that the kitchen has like hit or miss activity, but up in the nursery, what was up in the nursery room at one point in time that became so much activity now?
I think because it was used as a kid's room when someone had moved into it. So she just kind of like viewed it as like comfort, like, oh, can this be my room?
Okay. But with that one, yes. When you were watching the video for the first time, all the guys are in the room. They're panning around, and the ball that was sitting in the room with them, they put it in there to see if anything would move it. You watch it roll towards the door. Yes, I think...
And it rolled down the stairs.
They thought that it had gone out on their own when they backpedaled it up or whatever. No, somebody had bumped it, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, because one of the toys went off when they were doing a little investigation.
So they got all excited, whatever. And
yeah, and one of the guys kicked it.
Now, when they were downstairs... They showed where they put the ball. And again, this was now a magic 8-ball, which you've seen those, and they'll have some weight to them, that they left up at the top of the stairs, see if anything can move it, do anything with it, blah, blah, blah. No one's up there now. No one is touching it. No
all
one
at
can...
the dining room table.
Right.
All the lights are off because they're, because I believe the owner told them that they like Sally likes her birthday and stuff.
Right.
Because... So they were celebrating it. They got our cake.
For perspective for you, like I said, the house is not big at all. It's roughly almost the same size as this place. where the dining room is if we would be in that room there, just roughly like out where on the porch is, and the stairs is the exact same setup. So that's your distance. And what happened is the ball up atop the stairs, as they're in that dining room, they hear a bang. Come to find out, the ball came all the way down. And they even did a test where they had the ball. Let's push it back down and see what it goes. It rolls, bounces a couple times, and eventually hits the ground on the floor. What they found on the wall is it got pushed hard that it bounced and was, I don't want to say thrown because they're using speculation, but came down with such force that it came down for them just a little bit and just did like the regular fall on the ground. There was a mark on the wall that something slammed into it hard, then came down. So something pushed through, something gave it force that it came down with some speed. Because when they were going back, I'm like, yeah, that is the sound we heard, but it sounded like a lot harder. And it's like, yeah, you had to have given that a good belt.
And then there is the basement with the pentagram. Now, Sam and Colby are known for doing stupid shit. And I think this is one of their most
they
stupidest
are on the opposite
thing ever.
spectrum of you, of where you're ready to get in the car and leave. They're more on my, well, let's see how far we can take this.
So what they did was they went into the basement. And they were just like looking, talking about the pentagram. And Sam he sat down on the burnt pentagram. And they had said that if there was any like evil entity in the basement, to make itself known. Wanna know what happened? Sam got an attachment. Sally attached herself to Sam because this was right before Hell Week started that they went to the Sally House.
Yes.
Their first location for Hell Week was a fortress in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And while they are in the fortress, they're talking through a spirit box, and they're like, "Who are you?" And it was saying like friend and stuff. And they're like, "Can we get a name?" Sally. And like it was a constant thing that Sally would appear in the investigations up until the end of Hell Week, when one of their medium friends, Amanda, came with them, and she performed like a little like kind of thing to like, I don't want to say exorcism, but
no,
like
I don't.
Kind of like a little banishing thing.
Yeah, I want to say more or less try of like a disconnect.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a full blown exorcism, but someone's like, okay, because it's like, I won't say it was a full blown possession, but it was an attachment that it would come, follow around, leave for a while, then come back. So it's like you didn't have to do like a full blown exorcism, but I'm like, we need to do a disconnection here, but that once you leave again, that you don't come back.
I do believe though, Sam had said that he was experiencing things at home too with it.
Right.
That things were going on, and I think Katrina talked about it too because they were together at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But there is still like, I don't think they're still fully sure if that ever worked, because I think there has been signs in a few recent videos that Sally is still there.
Right,
or at least just, I think what she did was just make herself less known, so that she could stick around.
Because like we said, it was a disconnect. That's not a full-blown exorcism that you're like banishing it, sending it back. You're just trying. It's like you're blocking a call. You're not completely stopping it. You're just not always receiving it. They can change the number and still find a way to get through. Easy there.
Now you're done.
Anyways, but yeah, the attachment was like a whole thing. It was very interesting to watch though, because at first it was kind of like they were trying to get her to make herself known, because they wouldn't say, "Who is this?" They would say, "Is this Sally?" So it could have also been other spirits there as well.
And that's what I don't like during investigations. I don't like seeing that of already giving them a name. No, you tell me. And don't give me the loose answer of, well, you know who it is, or it's who you think. No, you tell me. I'm not coming in here with anything written down that you can use. You tell me. Where are you from? What is your name? I'm not going to interpret shit. We need to have black and white answers here.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Whatever happened to the family that moved out? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I think they just, moved out and probably.
I don't think you
bothered.
just recover from that.
No, I don't.
No, Tony's dead now.
And to go to their credibility of that, most people who say that, like, anybody who has a haunting or any type of experience, they want off the media, they want this, they want that. They had media come in. It was obviously getting popularity. So, if you were quote-unquote faking it, why then all of a sudden leave? Why wouldn't you stay there? Why wouldn't you milk it for all it's worth? Get every last red cent that you could possibly get off of it. Why leave? Or have it that it followed you from this place and now we're moving here and it followed us over here. Why did you just walk away? That in my opinion, that leads to the credibility of your story is authentic. Mm-hmm. That you were trying to leave and I don't want a part of this anymore. I don't want to. I do have this video, that sound you were talking about. Mm-hmm. So, during the investigation of the sightings, they were actually able to capture some noise. And I'll play this for you here. Hopefully, we may have to turn the TV up a little bit.
And then returned a few moments later.
Yeah.
No audio effects have been added to this file, beyond an increase in volume. Many who have listened to this recording have experienced traumatic sensations. So please do so, at your own risk.
Okay, file 10, putting this down, and leave it here for about 5 minutes. If there's anything you want to say, any message you would like to share with the world, leave it on this recorder, and we will share it. Leaving now, closing the door. No one else is in this room this time. Coming back into the room. I'm going to take the recorder. Thank you for your time. Wishing you peace.
Yeah, have peace.
That's just Taylor.
Now, I will play devil's advocate. Could somebody have been in the room when they placed it, since it's just a recorder? Just like anything, you're going to have to take that on trust, because somebody could have been in there, could have been like making noises into it, breathing heavily. I will play that scenario that could possibly be. Now, when I have heard this before, it's hard to hear it on this TV, but right in the beginning, I thought I could hear, like, no.
This is what you heard?
That is not
this
what I heard.
file, beyond an increase in volume. Many who have listened to this recording have experienced traumatic sensations.
Yeah.
So please do so, at your own risk.
I'm not traumatized, so.
I won't play the whole thing again. I'll just play a little bit. But in the very beginning, when that noise starts up, I could swear I hear a little girl either like laughing, humming. There's some type of like smaller voice other than the main one. So I don't know if you're going to hear it. I know if you play it on your phone and have headphones on, you might be able to hear it better, because I just had it playing from my phone when I was working out, and I'm like, I thought at first like Dakota had come outside and was just like humming a song, and I'm like, I replayed it, I'm like, no, it's on the fucking tape. It's here.
Okay. File 10, I'm putting this down, and leave this here for about 5 minutes. If there's anything you want to say, any message you would like to share with the world, leave it on this recorder, and we will share it. Leaving now, closing the door. No one else is in this room this time.
It's right in there, very small bits. See, there's another one. Like I said, I won't play the full thing of it again, but in those first few ones, like, you have that loud screech come in, then there's like something in the back trying to come over, and then on the next, I think it was like about the second or the third one that you hear the loud pitching, you hear a that there's like something else trying to come across. And I think that's some of the marks. This was the investigation, and I was hoping to pull up for you. That was that gentleman. I had information on him. That's Peter James. He was another psychic, a third one that came in to help with the sightings documentary. He said he could see Sally at the top of those stairs there. And that's where a lot of the sensation of feeling pushed.
Oh yeah, now you can see how it is. Because if you, where like the dining room is, it's like right to the right over there.
Right. See, I can I hold it here? So you have the stairs here. There's a hallway that comes up to some other rooms.
Right, that door right there, that's the nursery directly on the left.
That is the room that the boys were in when they went there. The ball came out, and that's what they were like. If the ball came out, it must have came at a hard angle, but then they're like, no, they reviewed their footage, and it came out at an angle, and that's why it came down the stairs the way it did, and it was a soft ball, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But the dining room sits down to this side, off to the side, like I said. That similarity here. It's not a big space. But the other thing, too, is you have the dining room here. The kitchen sits on the backside. Under these stairs are the stairs that come down to the basement. So everything almost like lines up that it's stacked on top of each other. Can I get... I want to say... I know they were talking about it. I was riding the bike when I was playing this one. Can I... Oh, here we go. Let's pop it right there. There are your scratches. This is what Deborah said. Everything was fine. And we don't need to worry about it. You need to get over yourself. You need to have some concealer. Like, that's what your concealer is going to do for... I need it.
Looks like there's an A on his back in the bottom right one.
This one here? Yes. So I'm like I told you, these were not like little small ones that you see, the little welts. These are full-blown, rip-apart scratches that this man was getting. These are not reenactments. These are photos that they took off of him, and this is what it did to him. Like something violently tore him apart. Wasn't there from the sightings... I thought they had another one. No, I think that... Oh, yes. Here we go. Those are the ones that were appearing during the documentary. Remember she said when they were filming that stuff appeared. You can see that one. It drew blood. It like tore into him, and that's what happened visually as they were recording. That they saw that there was nothing there, and then all of a sudden that just appeared on his arm. Like I told you at the beginning, the whole like stuffed animals moving, that was going to be the lightest it got. Now, there are people who go in there to this day, and that is something that is common is the scratches, the sensations of being pushed down the stairs, the oppressive feeling that something is watching and like lurking off in corners, and just like an oppressive feeling when you get into the house. Like, you can have some instances where it's not that bad and you can withstand it. There have been individuals who have gone to other haunted locations that when they come into the Sally house that they need to step out for a while, that they have not felt something as dark. The Amityville house doesn't even feel as dark as what this place does. And it's the Amityville house, like when you talk about like atmosphere and just your surroundings, you already know what the Amityville horror house looks like. Has just the shape of the house itself looks kind of creepy and just has like it's focusing on stuff. But the Sally house, it is a very small, quaint little house, and you wouldn't think by looking at it on the outside that anything happened there. But when you walk through the doors, it just feels like you've stepped back in time and that something happened there that wants to be known. Now, my question is, since like with the whole pentagram thing, when did the entity begin? Did the entity exist when the doctor was alive and the stuff happened? Or did the accident that happened, did that unlock something somehow without knowing it? Did the operation on the little girl somehow trigger enough of a traumatic experience to crack open a door to let something in?
So we have like no records from like when that girl died to
No.
that incident.
No.
We just talked about. There's nothing.
Nothing.
Besides what that house before had said about it.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing. So yes, it's very easily to dismiss it and be like, well, there's no proof. Like I said with the Bell Witch one, there's no White House correspondence saying that he traveled here, blah, blah, blah. There is no official nameplate of the doctor. There is no records of that. There's no obituary even of the little girl passing away. There's nothing for that. But you're talking late 1800s. How well were records kept in, again, a small town? We're not talking about a big city that had a lot of things going on. You're talking a very small town out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not out in the middle of nowhere now. It is a lot more population now, but at the time...
Yeah, it's just odd. Because nothing happened for like a century after that we know about.
Like we said before, too. Did nothing happen? Or... who was it you said, was it a family friend or cousin who lived in there before?
It was someone that,
just a family
Deborah's
friend?
mom had knew.
Just a friend?
It was Tony's mom.
They were yelling at their kids about leaving their toys lay around. Was there stuff going on that everyone just dismissed?
And they had the imaginary friend Sally, and this was before they knew that there was an entity named Sally.
Right. So, okay. We'll play this scenario. People move into the house. You do have that nowadays, at least it's more common practice that you see. How many people are actually home for more than 4 to 5 hours out of the day? So what if the people who lived in there before them, they had a residence pretty much just asleep? They were in there for a couple hours at best, and then everyone was back out the door. No one was in there by themselves. Nobody stayed there. We'll say they all went to babysitters or some type of child care, whatever, or work, schools. Nobody was home at the same time, like collectively or even on their own. What little time they were there, we were in a mad dash this morning. We must have left that there. Clean your stuff up. Hurry up. We got to get back out the door. And then eventually they moved. They weren't even there for a long period of time. Is that why we don't have any like residual story that kept lasting? Well, from this time to this time, this person was here. The couple that moved in, I'm going to take it on the story, especially since they were getting ready for a child. They're going to invest time into the home. They're going to be getting everything ready because there is going to be an infant and then you are going to be there. So since you have a lot more people paying attention to detail now, to their surroundings, trying to get everything ready, we are picking up. No, I was just here 5 minutes ago and that was not where I left at. That was not sitting down there. I know I put this all up in here. Is that why you don't have the record that we would come to think of having something so intense?
She's squeaking.
I guess she agrees, maybe.
Hi.
So, but that is the Sally House.
I don't know. There's a hell of a gap. Like was there nothing? Like nobody was living in there at this time, or nothing that we know.
We just
about?
don't have anything on record.
Be right back.
Because obviously, at least one person lived in there before Deborah and them moved in. But who lived in there? Any experiences? No, we don't have anything. It's when they went in, they started, it built up and started to continue. So, could I entice you to stay the night?
I'm possibly. I'd probably do it. I have no problem doing things until shit starts happening. Then I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't be here.
But why not?
Like, I'll go in and I'm like, yeah, I'll stay tonight. And then, like, things start catching on fire. I'm like, well, I think it's time to leave. Like,
You can't be such in a mad dash to get out. You got to stick it out a little bit.
like, I mean, I would definitely do it. But like I said, once, all right, I'll give you like 3 fucking flaming teddies. And then I'm out.
Then after that, would you stay in the Sally
Yes.
House? Oh, full-hearted no. What do you think is there?
A darker entity than Sally. I believe Sally is there, but there's also something darker, and she's probably just being used as like bait.
Okay. When do you think like it started? Where do you think like it came from? What activated it?
I think that with the family before the Pickmans, I think it was just Sally, because
Okay.
it was just an imaginary friend, and the kids are playing with toys, and it's fine.
Right.
And I think something happened in between the two families that was never on record and never talked about, that maybe caused the pentagram and caused something darker to happen.
But what do you mean?
Like, because there was a gap between the two families moving in.
Okay.
Because the family before moved out, there was a bit of a gap, and then the Pickmans moved in, I believe.
Okay.
So I believe something may have happened in that gap at the house, and just no one knows about it.
Okay.
Like, either that's how the pentagram was formed, just somehow, because there is always a theory of there being portals between different haunted locations.
Right.
So maybe when there was no one in the house and it was just dormant, that something somehow made its way to the house and got connected to it and decided this would be a good place to get more power from.
Oh, okay.
Because all there is here is a little girl and 2 other harmless spirits. So what are they going to do? How are they going to know?
Okay.
So that's what I think.
Fair enough.
But who knows? Sally might be with Sam right now, so.
No, that could be too. What do you think? Is it just a little girl in the information you've watched now? Do you think it's anything at all?
if it's anything, I think it's like something demonic. I don't think it's a little girl.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Some theories go behind that the demonic side entity is the previous doctor, because when she brought up that the old woman, that was supposedly, some people go to assume that that would be like the mother of the daughter. Mm-hmm. So you have Sally, you have the mother there too, and now you have the doctor. And I'm like, I can see where you're going with that correlation, but on the same token, why is it just these three? Did the doctor not have any other patients? Was there anything, nothing? If this was just a one-time slip-up, why is it just these three souls that are stuck here? Why nobody else? This is the only mistake we only ever had. This is the only death we ever had. If you're a doctor in this area and people, like, he obviously knew to take him or take her somewhere, so
or maybe
knew he was
it's
a
not
doctor.
the doctor, because it said before about the doctor's father, Michael, who had died there, because it was his initials that were written on Tony's back.
Right. So, but my question then goes to that: how did his father die?
I don't believe it said.
And if, like, why would it be like?
Why those ones?
No. Like,
right. So we're making like assumptions. You're trying to like debunk it and like move your way down through. But I'm like, if that is true, okay, but I don't know. I need a little bit more evidence on that to say, yeah, it was the doctor, it was the mother. I'm like, I myself, I don't know when it happened. I'm in agreement with you that Sally is there, but I think something else is there, possibly using her as, why don't you talk to them to get this started? And then when she like ventures off to another room, I'm still Sally. Can I play with you? I'm going to have this invite to see if I can stay now.
I don't know. If I would have to pick one of those three, I'd say it's the mom.
Okay. So that's all your information then you got for Sally? Anything else? Mm-mm. Nothing you want to add to that? Anything you want to add to it? Any warnings to people?
I don't have any warnings. I don't know. Like if there is, say there are like multiple spirits in a house, ghosts, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't there one that's like the
that?
Top,
That is supposed to be in most theories. When they're talking about haunted locations where there's multiple spirits, it does seem to be a pattern that you do have a dominant one who, if it doesn't control, it is trying to control everything. That does seem to be a theme throughout a lot of locations.
Because I feel like when, like, say you had like the daughter, the mother, and the doctor, wouldn't like you think like the mother would just like, I don't know, like try to torture like, because obviously them two ghosts aren't going to get along, right? The doctor and the mother. So like, wouldn't they have like?
The doctor killed their daughter.
Right.
I don't like. See, this whole thing about ghosts is like, what is actually like? Do you believe like? Could it like the mother ghost like destroy the doctor ghost in some way?
I don't know, because I forget what show I was watching that they were talking about entities, and it's like, why can't you talk? Well, so and so's coming, I have to go. Like, what is it about these other entities that sometimes it's demonic and sometimes it's just another ghost that for some reason has an ability, power, whatever you want to call it, that can create influence over these individuals or these other entities, that they can't seem to draw that much power, that they have to follow what the dominant one is telling them to do. Well, this one's coming in the room, I have to leave, I can't stay. So, yeah, I don't... Because in some of, like, I'll say not the attacks, but, like, poltergeist activity of things just moving, is it not directed at the people? Are you just getting caught in the crosshairs? Mm-hmm. That they're having their own dispute. Maybe, for sake of argument, the mother's arguing with the doctor and they're throwing the stuffed animals around. Has nothing to do with you, but they're just having their disagreement still. They're having their argument. So your visual that you're seeing is the aftermath of that. It had nothing to do with you. I just feel bad for the guy because he got tormented severely and his wife obviously did not care.
He's fine.
She was just delusional for the longest time, it seemed like.
she wrote it off that it was nothing, that you are too dramatic, you need to get over it. She just likes playing. Like, no, playing is you, not like you go to your room.
Oh no, I accidentally scalped you.
Oh no.
Such a fun game we have.
No. So, alrighty, that's it for the Sally House. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you give a like and share the episode, please. It will help us out a lot. We are up to 65 now. Hopefully by next week, probably when this drops, we will be able to start doing some lives for everyone. Are you showing everyone the noisemaker we have?
Yes, this is my baby. Here, what do you have to say for yourself?
You talked this whole time, and now you don't want to say anything. A little camera shy now.
Right, stage fright.
I can't perform like this.
Speak.
Make sure you subscribe because we do have more Halloween episodes headed your way. And like I told you the other night, we have a lot already getting planned for Christmas. And start of the new year, we will have a somewhat new format for you for on-location filming for you too. So please subscribe and stay followed and in touch with us. So until next time, we will see you all later.
Bye.
I can't find the stop button.